Some people tap their feet, some people snap their fingers, and some people just sway back and forth. I just sort of do them all together, I guess.
And now here is Elvis Presley.
I got news for you, baby.
So excited, I can't wait.
I think Presley was a star.
Well, heard the news.
Oh, he's such a sexy person. He will always be the king no matter what.
Hello everybody! In this video you will see some rare footage from 1956. I have to make a rectification, auction results, a beautiful car for sale, special Elvis items, of course a trivia question, and in about a minute or two Elvis's worst mistake ever. My name is Maier and you are watching the Elvis Presley News Report of October 2022. In last month's report I showed you newly found images of Elvis's San Diego concert in 1970. Now footage has been released of Elvis's 1956 performance in San Diego.
Fans may find it hard to believe, but there was a time when Elvis Presley was not a legend.
And I said, who's the singer? And he said, oh, it's Elvis Presley. I said, who's Elvis Presley?
Julie Campbell remembers 1957 when Elvis Presley came to San Diego. She was Julie Garrett then, a local singer who was hired to be the opening act at a Presley concert. Julie tuned into the Ed Sullivan Show for a sneak preview.
At that point, everything was censored so much that when I did see Elvis on the Ed Sullivan Show, he didn't do very much for me. He was just a good-looking guy and a fairly good singer. And I thought, well, this is going to be a lark, so I'll take my $50 and do my number and go home.
Well, she sang her song, Rock Around the Clock, and didn't go home. She watched.
Well, he wasn't anything like I saw on the Ed Sullivan Show. Of course, there was no censorship, and I could definitely see why the girls were going crazy and screaming. Because at that time, nobody did anything like that. He had that charisma that only a superstar has. I know I didn't have it, but I knew that he did. I could spot it right away.
They shared the same stage, but never met. Julie Campbell did not become one of Elvis Presley's loyal fans, but she knew 30 years ago the main act was headed for stardom.
We all know that Baz Luhrmann's Elvis movie is not 100% accurate historically, but it is really true that Elvis got a bill after Elvis fired the Colonel. Elvis's father, Vernon Presley, was Elvis's financial man on Parker's advice. Now Vernon knew how to pay the bills, but his financial knowledge did not extend further. I've been an Elvis fan for over 45 years and I never understood why Elvis and Vernon chose to believe Parker's word when the bill was presented to them. Even Jerry Schilling or Joe Esposito didn't ring a bell about the validity of Parker's claim. If it is such a ridiculous amount of money, why didn't anyone wonder if the bill really needed to be paid? Why didn't they go to a financial lawyer and ask, is this bill really legally valid? Do we really have to pay this? Every lawyer had chopped up Parker's claim. For example, where were the receipts? Any lawyer would dig into Parker's past and tell Elvis that Thomas A. Parker doesn't exist at all. There is no birth certificate of Thomas A. Parker. Thomas A. Parker is a fictional person. Elvis Presley, you can tear up the bill and your contract with Parker because it is signed with a fake signature. Elvis, you are free to go on a world tour and we are suing Andries van Kuik because he owes you money because the percentages in your contract are not usual. There are no documents that Tom Parker changed his name officially from Andries van Kuijk into Thomas A. Parker. He always remained an illegal Dutch immigrant and never applied to become an American citizen. A contract is, in my view, not valid when you are using a fake identity. Here are some examples of contracts between Elvis and Parker. Elvis always signed with his real name, but the Colonel always signed with Thomas A. Parker. If Andries van Kuijk was visible on the dotted line, then there is indeed a valid document, but you will never find such a signature in the archives. So, not consulting legal advice about the validity of that strangling invoice of Parker is, in my view, Elvis's worst mistake ever. In short, the Elvis On Tour package of Follow That Dream records is also set for a December release and will be in the same format as their The Making of Jailhouse Rock set, which means 2 books with a vinyl record and CDs. More info follows when available. Are you interested in buying an Elvis car? Then perhaps the Stutz Black Hawk, which Elvis gifted to Elias Garnham, a true friend, excuse me, is something for you. On November 12th, this Stutz with 31,000 miles on the odometer is on the auction block of Meekum Auctions. P.S. Did Elvis really screw that plaque onto the dashboard himself? The Elvis movie is the only original movie in the box office top 10. With a 9th position, it is the highest grossing film of 2022 in the USA so far. The movie is now available in the shops as a DVD, a Blu-ray and a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc. In 2022, all the Warner Brothers movies had a theatrical exclusive window of 45 days before hitting HBO Max. The Elvis movie is the first movie that does not follow this policy. On September 2nd, the Elvis movie was released on HBO Max 70 days after its premiere at the cinemas. The movie will not be on Netflix anytime soon. A movie based on Priscilla Presley's 1985 memoir Elvis and Me will be made by director Sofia Coppola. The script of the film that will be shot in Toronto in the fall of this year is adapted by the director. A deepfake Elvis Presley took the stage at America's Got Talent. Synthetic media developer Metaphysics showed Elvis performing songs to match impersonator Emilio Santoro on the stage below. The audio performance was enhanced by synthetic voice cloning company Respeecher.
And as a great philosopher once said,
you ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit with you, wishing no friend of mine.
As promised in last month's report, I am showing you the top 3 of highest paid Elvis items at the GWS auction of August 27, 2022. But before we start with number 3, I have to tell you that the 1976 Harley Davidson that I showed in the September report did not sell. At number 3 is the 18-karat yellow gold lion head ring that Elvis wore during the filming of That's the Way It Is. You can see Elvis wearing this ring during the rehearsal as well as the actual concert. Elvis wore the ring for many months and then gave it to Richard Davis because he knew how much Richard loved lions. After 22 bids, it was sold for $130,000. In the Elvis Presley News Report of October 2019, I told you about the auction of Elvis's 1973 Lincoln Continental Limousine. Elvis purchased the limo in December of 1975 and gifted the car to J.D. Sumner one evening when he found himself stranded at Graceland without transportation. The limo was once on display in Mike Moon's Elvis Presley Museum in Pigeon Forge. The car was back on the auction block and a real bidding war unfolded. But after 37 bids, the hammer fell at a staggering $400,000. And to think that the car was sold for $70,000 in 2019. And at number 1 is the '68 comeback special Hackstrom V2 guitar. This guitar belonged to guitarist Al Casey, who performed in the backing band during the special. Al Casey was asked to let Elvis use the guitar by the producers as they thought it would look beautiful on camera and with the set. Elvis used the guitar for the opening segment as well as during one of the live stand-up segments. In last month's video I told you that the guitar was sold for $500,000 at auction in 2021. This time the asking price was $750,000. Now let's go to the sale room.
All right, and guess what? We have the opening bid amount, $750,000.
Who wants to be paid $800,000 paid? I get $800,000.
They tried $800,000, but no other bids came in. So they went down in increasing the bids, but even at $760,000 there was no action in the auction room.
$760. I'm in $60,000. $760. I'm in $760 here. $760,000. I had $750, $760, and I have
Going once.
going once, ladies and gentlemen. $760. Go for it. It's all yours.
Go on, you said once. Going twice.
In the end, it turned out that there was just one bidder who bought the guitar for the asking price of $750,000.
We are selling it at $750,000. So thank you, online. Thank you so much. Great guy. Amazing piece of history there.
As you may well know, a warehouse fire destroyed almost the complete Follow That Dream catalog in October 2021. Due to the significant demand from fans and dealers, FTD is currently investigating the viability of repressing several titles of the Sessions series. I have to make a rectification concerning the on-tour box set details. In last month's report I told you that the dimensions of the box were 5 inches. Now it turns out that Amazon stated the wrong dimensions. Just like the recent Nashville boxes, the Elvis On Tour set will be 8 inches. Paramount Pictures revealed the date on which the 4K Blu-ray of Blue Hawaii will be released. The 2-disc set will be released on November 15 and will cost you around $40. The set includes the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray disc and the regular 2K Blu-ray disc. But oh Paramount Pictures, what a mistake! Why on earth did they use photos from Paradise Hawaiian style in the packaging? The good news is that the army of Elvis fans pointed out the mistake to the makers. And not short thereafter, a correction was being made by Paramount Pictures. But I still have my doubts about the print on this DVD disc. In last month's video I asked you to show me your most special or precious Elvis item. And this is what I received from my viewers. The most special Elvis items to Terrence Wright from New York in the USA is his Elvis artwork. He painted these at home pure as a hobby. Painting these Elvis canvases helped him getting better at his artwork. I think your paintings are very skillfully done, Terrence. Thank you for sharing it with us. The most special Elvis item to Eric Straver from the Netherlands are the autographs he collected. Over the years he obtained the autographs of, for instance, John Wilkinson, James Burton, Duke Bartwell, Charlie Hodge, Estelle Brown and many, many others. The items themselves are not much worth as these LPs are regular releases. But it is the memories of all those concerts and fan club meetings in the Netherlands, Belgium and Denmark what makes them priceless to Eric. The most special Elvis item to Jes Rasmussen from Denmark is this acetate of Johnny Burnett. The story goes that the acetate came in Elvis's possession when Johnny Burnett gave it to Elvis when Elvis lived at Audubon Drive. Though Jes bought the acetate with a certificate of authenticity in 2003, he does not know if this story is really true. Jes is very happy with this item regardless the provenance, as he is, besides an Elvis fan, also a massive Johnny Burnett fan as well. This is Levi Silver from Houston, Texas, whose prized possession is this 70 RPM Sun record of That's Alright Mama. At the guest house of a church he was hired to sing, there was a hallway of rare records including 2 copies of That's Alright Mama. He jokingly quoted the Bible to the woman that had hired Levi by paraphrasing the verse, "The Bible says if you have 2 Sun records you should give one to your brother who doesn't have one." What happened next is that she took 1 copy off the wall and gave the record to Levi. If you want to share your special Elvis item with the rest of my viewers, then send 5 photos and an accompanying text to elvisdisco@hotmail.com. Hi everybody, it's trivia time. In last month's video I played you 2 tiny snippets of songs and I asked you to combine the song titles. With the outcome and a little juggling with the words, you could make a new Elvis song title. I played you A Tender Feeling and Please Love Me. So the answer to last month's trivia question was the song title Love Me Tender. Now this month's trivia question is real difficult, but hey, we are Elvis fans, so let's give it a try. On the soundtrack of the Elvis movie, a remix of Crawl Fever was created by using several Elvis songs. Now the hook in the song are those returning bells. Listen. Now it may be far-fetched, but I hear those same notes at the beginning of an Elvis song. Listen, this is Crawl Fever. And here are the same notes at a slower pace at the beginning of an Elvis song. Now, can you tell me the song I just played you the first 3 notes of? Place your answer in the comments below. Good luck, Elvis fans! That's all for this month. Hope to see you next time. Until then, have a happy Elvis Presley Day.
You have a happy